But this is a test print just to see if my pegs will line up okay, and that I didn't make this part too thin. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new here, I'm Kathryn, the Aerogarden Homesteader, and the beans are starting to produce on this side. I've got little beans going on. There are flowers everywhere. I'm still losing some leaves on the bottom. I am going to scale back the amount of food they get this week, so let's see if that helps with any of the leaf fall. But yeah, I don't know what causes it. I've always had it, but I don't know if that's a problem or not. But this side is just starting to come into its first swing of production. This other side still has some that are getting close to needing to be picked, but I've got more flowers coming in. So I've got some there. There's like a little, I don't think that was it. Where was the one I was here? This one. This one I was looking at earlier. It is the beginnings of a flower stalk that's coming out. And I thought I saw a few over here on the purple one. So the second flush is getting ready to start, which is awesome. There are a few that, I don't think that one's going to make it. I think that yellowish one back here, I don't think that one's going to make it either, or that one back there, but some of them are still in the process of growing, and obviously some of them do need to get picked. But I think I mistimed my planting. They're probably going to be like just off from one another, so that I'm not going to get that perfect lining up of the harvests, which is a shame. But that was on me. That was kind of my fault. And then I actually had to wait for the 3D printer to finish up. I am test printing out parts of the Bounty. So this is the part that will have the pins. They're not really pins, they're like pegs that'll line up so that I can have the two pieces fit together. Now I know this doesn't look long enough, but this is where the water port is right here, and this is the part that will rest. I need to actually print that with supports. I knew that at the time, but there's no point in printing it with supports right now if I'm just doing a test print. But this is a test print just to see if my pegs will line up okay, and that I didn't make this part too thin. So I got to print the other half of the deck, that's going to match with the pins here, the holes, and see if they slot together. Because I did actually have a problem getting the harvest ones to slot together properly. Part of that was I didn't have my things all in the right the right plane of, so they would fit together. And the other one was that I didn't use supports, and so they kind of had a little bit of a saggy sag going on, and it wouldn't have fit in the hole anyways, whether they had lined up or not. So I need to print the other half of this, so I've been trying to get into the habit of doing little test prints to make sure everything as a whole is going to work. If I can get all the parts to work, I'm hoping the whole will work. So that's where I'm at with that. But that's how that's going. The cherry tomato is doing awesome. We've got some nice big fruit happening. We still have a bunch of flowers going on. There's a nice flower under there. There's a big one back here as well. I do have a little bit of browning of some of the sort of the first leaves. I don't know if you can really see underneath, but I don't even know. So it comes out right here, and normally there's a little sprout, like a sucker, that'll happen right above it. So I can actually just sort of take these leaves off. Sometimes you can bend them down and they'll snap, or I just have little pruners that I can use to clip them off. But I want to take off sort of these bigger leaves if they don't have any production on them. So this one doesn't, but I want to leave any of the sucker growth and any of the other leaves that have production on them. So see how this one doesn't have anything on it. It was just a leaf for, obviously it's a leaf for growing, but once it hits a certain phase, it doesn't need that leaf anymore. So it is getting pretty big. It's got lots of little flowers in the back. It's starting to sprawl out a bit more, so it's doing its thing. We're just waiting for tomatoes. And finally, the harvest that has the new deck. This one is looking really good. The stem is looking really nice and chunky. I have some flowers just starting. The growth is looking really good. I mean, I feel like it grows so much from week to week whenever I show you. I see it every day, and so I don't really remember how small it was sort of the last time, but it grows really fast. I mean, it's sort of incredible. The Aerogardens, you give them plenty of food and they've got all the water they need, and as long as you keep up with those, the growth is awesome. So I've been really happy with how this has been turning out. I do have it so that I can use a 3-inch net pot, and I'm going to print up another one, I think, and get one going in a 3-inch net pot. I don't know what to plant in it, though. I'm trying to decide if it's worth trying a green pepper in a harvest, which might be overkill, or just, we don't really need more cherry tomatoes, but you know, for experimental purposes, I can do more cherry tomatoes. But anyways, outside, not much going on. My corn did start coming up, so I am starting the Three Sisters. We'll see how that goes. Not sure I planted the right corn. I planted like a sweet corn, but I don't know if it's going to be tall enough. I hope you found this video useful. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will continue doing updates on that bounty deck, so hopefully I would be really nice if I could print one out for the next update, but I don't think that's going to happen. It'll probably be like the update after that. But stay tuned. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed, if that's something you want to see come to sort of life like this deck did. I can't wait to show you that. I will have some videos up at the end that you might also enjoy, and I will see you next time on the Aerogarden Homestead.